We went to the grocery store, we came back, so I go to the trunk, and I find men's boxers in the trunk. Now, I know for sure these aren't mine. I'm like, whose are these? These are not mine.
What? She was about 8 months pregnant, and I got a courtesy call at work to let you know I'm pregnant, but don't worry, you're not the father. It's my boyfriend's baby.
That's not
I just want to let you know just in case you hear something in the street.
He went and rented an apartment,
I went and got my own,
turned it into a boom boom room. I had to pay somebody $100 to go into the home to see what was going on. It was Party Central and everything else.
Guess what? We're just getting the party started. The scene sets with Sanchez versus Turman kicking off as the court clerk rolls out the red carpet introduction. The judge throws out a warm welcome and the crowd echoes back. The stage is set. Ms. Sanchez steps up, seeking paternity proof to rescue her rocky romance. Mr. Turman, brace yourselves, because there's a whole lot of drama about to spill.
Ms. Sanchez, you say today's DNA results mean everything. You are spiritually married to the defendant, but claim his denial that he fathered your 8-month-old son has stopped him from legally marrying you. You need paternity proof to save this relationship.
Hold on to your popcorn, because things are getting juicy. Ms. Sanchez lays out her tale of a spiritual hit with Mr. Turman and her quest to solidify it legally, pending a paternity check. Mr. Turman, on the other hand, isn't convinced he's the dad and points to a big fat trust issue blocking their path to matrimonial bliss. Stick around, the bombshells are just beginning to drop.
Mr. Turman, you doubt you are George's father and say your marriage is not a real legal marriage, and it won't be unless Ms. Sanchez stops lying to you.
It's important to me, my marriage, my husband, because this has gone on for 2 years of accusations and lies, the fact that he doesn't trust me. It's very hurtful, and it means a lot to me.
Here's a curveball for you. Mr. Turman spills the beans on their Tinder match that quickly escalated from a swipe right to a full-blown romance, starting right from their first meetup. This revelation throws a spanner in the works, painting a vivid picture of their shaky trust foundation. Don't blink, you won't want to miss what's next.
We met on Tinder, and I'm swiping, and I came across her profile, and I super like is when it goes directly to them, so they know somebody likes you. So she liked me back, we connected. We were supposed to hang out first night. She declined because she was with somebody else she met from Tinder. So the second night is when we actually hung out, came over, we had some drinks, one thing led to another. We had sex though, first night.
And now for a twist. Imagine Mr. Turman's face when he discovers a pair of men's boxers tucked away in their car trunk. He's rattled, and who wouldn't be? Ms. Sanchez brushes it off, blaming it on a relative. The plot thickens with these underwear antics, stirring up more doubts about who's being true or not. The tension's mounting. Keep watching.
We went to the grocery store, we came back, so I go to the trunk, and I find men's boxers in the trunk. Now, I know for sure these aren't mine. I'm like, whose are these? These are not mine.
What?
Just when you think it couldn't get more tangled, Mr. Turman throws down a bombshell, a buddy's testimony, claiming he saw Ms. Sanchez cozying up with another guy at a bar around baby-making time. This revelation cranks up the tension, throwing more fuel on the fire of paternity and fidelity doubts. Things are heating up, so stay tuned for the fireworks.
I have proof that October 15th, a friend of mine, Mr. Stevenson, seen her at a bar talking to somebody else.
Statement says, so my friend Joel back around, I showed me a girl he met and was starting to talk to on Tinder back when I was in California. But like mid-October, I was at a bar club and I saw her there talking to another guy, feeling on him.
Drum roll, please. It's the big reveal.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Turman, you are the father.
Alrighty then, buckle up for this bit. Judge throws a curveball, asking the dad about his knowledge of mom's other Bay situations, and Fisher admits he knew what was up. They finally drop the big news that Fisher is the daddy. Everyone's jaws hit the floor with the reveal, and it's like a telenovela moment right there in the courtroom. You gotta stick around for the reaction. It's priceless.
You and your baby, you even check on him!
I just want to know, there's multiple people that was having affairs with her. I just want to know.
So you feel like he was having sex with other men?
Oh, yes. He looked like the baby, too.
He wants to be a father to Jeremiah more than he does, and he's willing to step up and take that responsibility.
Biological father is Mr. Fisher.
You won't believe this next part. Post-reveal, Fisher cracks a dad joke about needing diapers now, mixing his happy shock with a dash of dad humor. Judge Lake isn't having it though, reminding him that joking around might not be the best move. And oh boy, the drama doesn't stop here. Watch what happens next.
All right, do you need diapers right now?
You keep saying, this is not a joke.
This is my kid. Why can't I joke about it? I'm pretty happy now.
After the results, Mr. Fisher had Joe. Tate was disappointed. Are either of them in Jeremiah's life? Atkins sent the court this update.
After the verdict drops, Ms. Atkins hops in with an update that's like a feel-good movie scene. Gianni's stepping up as Jeremiah's dad, and Jadrian's in as the godfather. Both dudes are showing up and showing out, which is kind of sweet and totally unexpected. Stick around, the next bit might just tug at those heartstrings even more.
Since paternity court, definitely taking the steps he needs to take as far as being in Jeremiah's life. He's been asking to pick him up, see him, so that's one thing that I'm really happy about. Jadrian has offered to be Jeremiah's godfather. Thank you guys so much.
That's a great way of turning a negative DNA result into a positive experience.
Now, dive into this soap opera. We roll into a new case with Crystal Scott, who's been in a Who's My Daddy limbo for years because of multiple maybe dads and super slow DNA tests. The emotional weight is real as she vents about the mess it's made of her life. What happens next? You won't want to miss the big reveal.
Really upset because I don't know who my dad is.
So this is a 35-year-old mystery.
She's my third child.
And you believe she was your daughter?
No ifs, no ands about it.
Her mother is your wife?
Still is.
Why not make it right from the beginning instead of having me go through?
And I thought about all the things that you're seeing right there. What's gonna come after that? You know, are him and I gonna get into it? One of us go to graveyard, one of us go to prison.
Issues out for the big reveal. The paternity test results for Lewis versus Scott show Mr. Lewis as the bio dad, stirring up all the feels in the courtroom. Ms. Scott's breakdown is a real tearjerker, showing just how much this truth bomb means to her. This new chapter's just beginning, and trust me, it's a doozy.
In the case of Lewis versus Scott, the biological father is Mr. Lewis. After the result, Miss Scott was fearful that the relationship with Scott and his family would change.
You're not gonna believe this. The episode kicks off with the case of Myers versus Black. The judge, the fabulous Judge Lake, and the courtroom announcer Jerome get the ball rolling. Everyone in the courtroom echoes a good day, setting the stage for some courtroom drama. And folks, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Ms. Myers, you say that 4 years ago you had a relationship with Mr. Black that resulted in the birth of your son Logan. You claim that after initially accepting your son, Mr. Black turned his back on you and started denying your baby.
Buckle up, it's gonna get bumpy. Ms. Myers steps up and throws down the gauntlet, claiming Mr. Black was all in with her son Logan before he did a total 180 and started denying he was the dad. Mr. Black fires back, labeling their time together as a mere 2-week fling during which Ms. Myers was supposedly playing the field. Sparks fly as they lay out their starkly different love maps, ramping up the courtroom tension. And trust me, the spice is just starting to sprinkle.
Mr. Black, you state you had only a 2-week fling with Ms. Myers while she was cheating on her boyfriend. You say Ms. Myers is a promiscuous opportunist, will prove you are not her child's father.
Get ready for the waterworks. Ms. Myers drops a bombshell that little Logan has been asking about his daddy, especially with school starting. Mr. Black admits he's been MIA, blaming his doubts about being the father. This revelation pulls at the heartstrings, highlighting the emotional toll on the kiddo. Keep the tissues handy, as it's about to get even more tear-jerky.
So when it's Logan's first day of school, he'll ask where's Tyrell, or he'll ask why isn't he there.
Mr. Black, you're not showing up for the first day of school, anything?
I have a lot of doubt on the reason why I'm not the father. I have done with a lot of shady things that made me believe I am not father. So
he doesn't show up for his birthday party. I promised Logan that he would come to his third birthday party, and he did not show up.
Oh, the drama. The courtroom heats up as Ms. Myers insists their fling was a full-blown relationship lasting months, filled with all the coupley stuff like picking each other up and doing homework together. Mr. Black shrugs it off as just casual hookups. This clash over what we were adds another layer of juicy drama to their tangled tale.
We were talking for almost like 3 months before Tyrell went back to his other child's mother. And then he accused me of cheating in 2 weeks. It was more than 2 weeks. So who picks someone up from work, who sleeps with the person, who does different things with the person, and is it not to be a relationship?
It was just
so in your mind, he was your boyfriend.
Casual sex, that's all it was.
Here's where it gets even messier. Mr. Black claims he got the news of Ms. Myers' pregnancy through a courtesy call when she was about to pop, suggesting he was never in the dad zone to begin with. Ms. Myers fires back, insisting she kept him in the loop from the early days. A mismatch in their stories cranks up the confusion and suspense. Fasten your seatbelts. It's a wild ride from here.
She was about 8 months pregnant, and I got a courtesy call at work.
That's not true.
Call you to let you know I'm pregnant, but don't worry, you're not the father. It's my boyfriend's baby.
That's not true.
I just want to let you know just in case you hear something in the street.
I texted him and told him that I was sick. He told me, well, maybe you should go to the doctor. Finding out that I was actually pregnant.
Talk about a plot twist. As Logan makes his grand entrance into the world, Mr. Black says he got yet another courtesy call, but got the cold shoulder at the hospital because Ms. Myers' then boyfriend playing dad. That dude even signed the birth certificate. Talk about stirring the pot. This chaotic moment lays out some serious legal and emotional conundrums.
Same day she had a yarn, I was actually at work on my lunch break, and I got a phone call saying, hey, I'm at the hospital, I'm in labor, I'm about to have him.
And why do you think you getting that call if you...
I got approval to get off of work, go to the hospital to see him. When I got there, they told me I was not allowed because she refused to have me come in the room because her boyfriend at the time there with her family, and she didn't want everybody to know she...
Grab your hats. We're going into a tornado. Ms. Myers suggests a DNA test to clear the air. But when child support gets mentioned, Mr. Black practically vanishes into thin air. This heated moment reveals deep-rooted issues and the shaky ground they're navigating as potential co-parents. And just when you think it can't get any more heated, oh, it does.
And I told him, sure, since you want to act like Logan's not yours, if I have to pay for a DNA test, I'm going to put you on child support. He disappeared again and did not anything else about a DNA test.
And how do you know this to be true?
Her ex-boyfriend actually called me on, had a conversation with me and said, man, I'm actually happy I just dodged a bullet. He's not mine.
That's a lie.
I hope it works out for you.
You won't want to miss this finale. After all the back and forth, DNA results are in. And guess what?
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Black, you are the father.
That's fine. Can I see him?
Can you handle this drama? Ms. Hummel steps up to bat, swinging with a claim that she's stuck in a love triangle messier in a soap opera with Mr. Pack and his current squeeze, Fuentes. They're all tangled up because Mr. Pack is playing dodgeball with the paternity of Ms. Hummel's 8-month-old cutie pie, Ola. She's thrown down the gauntlet for a DNA test to clear the air. Buckle up, because this roller coaster is just clanking up the first hill.
Ms. Hummel, you claim you were caught in a love triangle with the defendant and his current girlfriend, which has left him denying he fathered your 8-month-old daughter, Lola. You have petitioned the court for a DNA test to prove that he is her biological father.
Holy plot twist, Batman. Just when you thought it was about to calm down, Ms. Hummel chucks a curveball, suggesting Mr. Pack might need a DNA test for another kiddo too. Enter Ms. Fuentes, popping in to drop the bomb that she also recently had a kid who might be Mr. Pack's. As the judge digs deeper, turns out Ms. Fuentes has more exes than a Taylor Swift album, which just thickens the plot. Strap in, the next part's a doozy.
If anyone needs a DNA test, he needs to get one for the other child.
My child?
She just had a child 2 months ago.
You saying if he needs a DNA test, it's for that child? What's going on with that?
She has been known to sleep around while in relationships.
Well, Ms. Fuentes, we hate to bring up the past, but since it's on record, you've appeared in this court.
I have.
For?
Yep.
Ever heard of a plot thickening? Ms. Fuentes admits that during a "we were on a break" moment with Mr. Pack, she had a fling with her ex, right smack in the baby-making window for her son, Anthony. Oh boy, now everyone's scratching their heads wondering if Mr. Pack might need to start a daycare with all these potential kiddos. Stay tuned, because the tea is about to spill.
Basically, I kicked him out. I kicked him out 3 days. I slept with my ex.
Admittedly. How soon after that did you find out you were pregnant?
To be honest with you, I don't remember dates all correctly, but it was probably about 6-7 weeks when I found out I was pregnant.
And so when you slept with your ex, did you use protection?
No.
That within the window of time your child was conceived?
It was.
You're not gonna believe this. Ms. Hummel dives into the saga of her rocky romance with Mr. Pack, full of more ups and downs than a carnival ride. She recounts how they broke up when she was about as pregnant as one can be without popping, because Mr. Pack wasn't keen on job hunting. But plot twist, she claims he was over the moon about the pregnancy at first.
What was the nature of this relationship? What was this love triangle I read about?
We started dating in 2015, been on and off since then, and we broke up when I was about 12 weeks pregnant because he wouldn't get a job, so I kicked him out.
Okay, so you told him get out, and you broke up with him, which means he went over to Miss Fuentes.
Yes.
And the plot thickens. Again, diving deeper into this soap opera, Ms. Fuentes shares her noble attempt to push Mr. Pack back to Ms. Hummel for the baby's sake, despite their own messy relationship status. Obviously, that plan crashed and burned faster than a marshmallow at a bonfire. Next up, grab your popcorn because the drama isn't slowing down.
We actually didn't get together. He did come over to my house and we talked about it. I actually tried to convince him to get back with her because I felt like he needed to work something out with her as far as the baby goes, because I know how it feels to not have your kids in your life or whatever it may be, and I've been through this before, you know what I mean? I tried to convince him to get back with her, work everything out. That wasn't going away because she wanted to be too petty. So it is what it is, and he's with me now, so.
Grab your snacks. Here comes the big reveal.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Pack, you are the father.
Buckle up, folks. We're diving right in. Judge introduces the case of Carmen v. Carmen, where Ms. Carmen is dead set on saving her 18-year marriage by proving the paternity of her 4-year-old daughter, Ronizaya. Mr. Carmen, however, is throwing a curveball by denying paternity, claiming the marriage is toast if the DNA says he's not the daddy. He's even hinting he has juicy evidence another dude might be involved. Things are about to get spicy, so stick around.
Ms. Carmen, you open your case today in hope of saving your 18-year marriage. You testify your husband denies fathered your 4-year-old daughter, Ronasia, but you plan on proving paternity today. Mr. Carmen, you say when the DNA results reveal that you are not Ronasia's father, your marriage is over.
Holy moly, did you catch that? Mr. Carmen drops a bombshell claim about having proof that another guy is the father of Ronizaya. Ms. Carmen lays it all out, stressing that the fate of their nearly 30-year-long love saga hangs by a thread today. You'll want to see how this drama unfolds.
You claim to have bombshell evidence that proves another man is the dad. So, Mrs. Carmen, what is at stake today?
Your Honor, 18 years of marriage, 27 we have been together. Today, our life is really dependent on what's gonna happen today.
The air's thick with tension here. Ms. Carmen spills the beans about their marriage being on rocky ground thanks to the paternity mess. Mr. Carmen paints a vivid picture of their relationship being as fragile as a cookie, likening it to stale bread ends. Hang tight, because you won't believe what's coming up next.
So what is the current status of this relationship, Mr. Carmen?
On the thinnest ice known to man.
27 years together and you're on thin ice.
How can I put it? It's like the ends of the bread getting hard, the ends around the bread getting crunchy.
Ain't no need for it to be crunchy.
It's drying up. It's really that pretty face right there.
Talk about an emotional roller coaster. Amidst all the courtroom drama, a teary Mr. Carmen professes his love for all his kiddos and his commitment to Miss Carmen, swearing up and down he doesn't have secret families elsewhere.
And I see tears in your eyes when you look at her.
I love all 5 of my children by this one woman. I'm right here with this woman.
Right here with you, and that's your daughter.
I don't have no kids nowhere else. I have nobody nowhere else, and I've been doing my job in my house.
And so you are in the home together now. You're married.
Yes, we are.
You once had, obviously, a wonderful relationship, been together 27 years.
Yeah.
Who thought things could get this crazy over a rental car? The duo reminisces about how a squabble over not being able to rent a car spiraled into a full-blown separation, setting the stage for the current paternity chaos. You ain't seen nothing yet. The plot thickens after this.
Well, Your Honor, we had a separation. I went to rent a car, couldn't get a car, and it was around Easter time. Because I couldn't get the car, I kind of took it out on him. And so we were arguing back and forth. We decided that he was gonna leave.
Because of a rent-a-car?
Yes.
So obviously there were some other things going on because you don't get separated because of a rent-a-car.
You think it can't get any wilder. Hold my drink. During their time apart, Mr. Carmen turned his new pad into a boom boom room, which apparently was the hottest ticket in town for parties and other shenanigans with ladies. This bombshell just cranked up the heat in the courtroom.
I was just being a father to my kids and, you know, trying to maintain that and trying to work it out. He went
and rented an apartment.
I went and got my own.
Turned it into a boom boom room. I had to pay somebody $100 to go into the home to see what was going on. It was Party Central and everything else.
Turnabout is fair play, or so thinks Ms. Carmen. She confesses to retaliating by setting up her very own boom boom room and stepping out with another man, tossing a possible wrench into the paternity question. Grab your popcorn, because this tale is about to twist even more.
He showed me a videotape. I gave him the $100 bill with him with all kind of women kissing on him, all on his lap, doing all kinds of stuff. So then I decided I gotta go do me. I'm not finna sit around, even though we should have been able to work through this. But I wasn't about to around. I went and did me. I went down somebody and I had to go and do me.
So you got yourself your own boom boom room.
I got myself my own boom boom room. He found out about it.
Just when you think you've got the story figured out, boom, years into raising little Ronizaya, Mr. Carmen gets a text thanking him for playing stepdad, hinting that some folks think another man is her real dad. This calls for a DNA test stat. You won't want to miss what the envelope reveals.
A year and a half ago, bam, this is what took place first. Thanks for being a stepdad.
Oh, you got a text message.
From the mystery man's family member.
I ain't never seen it.
How old was Ronasia when you get these text messages?
3 going on 4.
So the baby been born, you all been raised in Asia, and you back together, you're 3 and 4 years old. You get these text messages on your phone.
Here comes the moment of truth.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Carmen, you are the father. Hold on.
Buckle up. Mr. Campbell starts off by slinging mud, calling his ex Miss McKeer, a gold digger who's just after his wallet. The crowd's gasp is practically off the charts as he lays it all out. Strap in, because it's about to get wilder from here.
Mr. Campbell, you are here because you say your ex-girlfriend is nothing but a conniving, gold-digging cheater whose goal is to pin her 9-year-old son legacy on you for her own personal gain.
You're not gonna believe this. Miss McKeer fires back, calling Mr. Campbell a big ol' fibber who's just salty because she dumped him. He's here to prove that baby Legacy is his, no matter what he thinks. The gloves are off, and it's only gonna get messier.
Ms. McSear, you say Mr. Campbell is a liar who's denying your son out of spite because you no longer want to be with him. You claim to know exact when and where your son was conceived, and you intend to prove paternity today.
Oh boy, grab your popcorn. Mr. Campbell goes deeper into his tale of woe, claiming all Miss McKeer ever did was take. Now he's out to prove he's not the daddy and finally kick her to the curb. Next up, things get even juicier.
Your Honor, ever since I met Mariah, all she ever did was take from me. Once I ran out of money, she left me high and dry. I'm just here today to prove that this is not my son's. Get out of my life.
And you believe this Miss McSear just feel like she got her one?
I think fish on the hook, Your Honor.
She's tried. That's what you think you are.
That's another lie.
This next scene is a doozy. In a fiery clash, Mr. Campbell accuses Miss McKeer of cheating, complete with naughty texts and saucy pics. She denies it all, but the tension's so thick you could cut it with a knife. Hold tight, because there's a bombshell just around the corner.
Your Honor, I went through her phone on numerous occasions and I seen her talking to different men inappropriately, outrageous. How can I trust somebody who talks to different men, who pictures to different men, explicit pictures to different men, and you expect me to think we're in an exclusive relationship?
Any proof of this?
You know it's the truth.
This is part of your...
You ain't seen nothing yet. The plot thickens as Mr. Campbell describes barging in on Miss McKeer practically in her birthday suit with another dude. The drama's heating up, and trust me, you'll want to see what's coming next.
One day she went out and I saw her in her bra and panties in a room with another man. When I came to the house, I came to come get some stuff. I came and I knocked on that door and I seen her almost half naked in there with another man, and the man is sitting on the edge of the bed as a whole
No, he was sitting on the bench and I had pants on.
He was terrified when he seen me walk in that room.
And now for a twist. During Hurricane Irma, Miss McKeer claims they were stuck together. And well, one thing led to another. She pins the conception of little Legacy right on that stormy stay. Up next, watch as they try to weather this storm in court.
And then you believe one of them potentially be Legacy's biological father.
Yes,
I know when I conceived.
How do you know this, Miss McSear?
Because in September of 2017, Hurricane Irma hit. At that time, we were staying together. It was a tree blocking my driveway. I could not go nowhere. We were stuck in the house. No electricity. All we did was make a baby.
Hang on, there's a curveball coming. The court digs into the nitty-gritty with conception calendars and hurricane dates, trying to pin down when Legacy was actually made. It's a wild ride of dates and details, and the next revelation is just a heartbeat away.
Hurricane Irma hit as a Category 4 storm on the morning of September 10th, 2017, knocking out power to more than 6.8 million people. So that was around September 10th. Do you remember that hurricane?
Yes, I remember that hurricane.
Do you remember the storm in Miss McSear's bed?
Yes, Your Honor, I do remember that, yes.
Things are heating up. Mr. Campbell pulls out photos of different dudes with the baby, claiming he can't be the dad. He's throwing everything but the kitchen sink now. Brace yourself, because what comes next is a total head spinner.
Your Honor, I have some photos and some evidence.
Please.
Poor man.
Clearly, I am not the father of this child. Over the course of our relationship, Mariah has sent me multiple pictures, 4 different men holding this child. She cannot deny that.
4 different men holding the baby?
Sending the pictures to me, and those pictures, none of them was me. Are you 100% sure that I am the father of this child? But you're sending me pictures of somebody else holding this child?
Just when you thought it couldn't get crazier, Mr. Campbell throws out a whopper, claiming Miss McKeer snuck in a DNA test with another guy. She calls him out as a liar again. Tension's mounting, and you won't believe what's tossed into the mix next.
A friend of the family contacted me and they told me that Mariah had got a DNA test done with another man, see if he was the father of her son. I'm confused. If I'm supposed to be the father 100%, why are you getting a DNA test done with another man? See,
That's
a compulsive liar.
No, that's not no compulsive liar. I've never did that.
Oh,
I don't have no doubt, so there'd be no reason for me.
Cue the dramatic music. The DNA results are in, and guess what?
It has been determined by this court. Campbell, you are the father.
He was there with all my doctor visits.
Yes.
He was there when I delivered my baby, along with flirting and cheating on me my whole pregnancy. He was at the hospital flirting with nurses. I'm about to get the fine. He signed the birth
Please don't let her
certificate
finish that,
and
please.
cut the umbilical cord. One thing about it.
A couple months ago, she told me. We got into an argument, and I was like, I'm going down and file for custody. I'm going to file for paternity test. She was like, you might want to go file because she probably ain't yours anyway.
Oh, that's when she said it.
Yeah, because he always wants to think he can just control everything I do.
There was a night I was drinking.
You gotta hear this one. Mr. Mason is really shaking the tree today, revealing he's lost all his marbles and trust over Ms. Malone's antics, suspecting that their toddler Avery might not really be his. He even turned into a full-on spy, setting up surveillance to catch her in the act with various visitors while he was out working. The plot thickens, so buckle up for Ms. Malone's comeback.
Mr. Mason, you say today will determine the future of your relationship with the defendant, Ms. Malone. You say you lost all trust, set up a watchdog to keep tabs on Ms. Malone and discovered that she had men in and out of the house while you were at bad work. And now you believe Avery is not your daughter.
Next up, Ms. Malone spills the tea. She owns up to her adventures, but is totally sure that Avery is Mr. Mason's mini-me. Hoping a DNA test will patch things up, she stands firm amidst the chaos. This drama is just warming up, folks. Get ready for some more jaw-droppers.
Ms. Malone, you admit cheating on your boyfriend, but positive he's Avery's father. Today, you are hoping the DNA will restore your relationship.
And here's where it gets juicy. Mr. Mason dishes out the dirt about Ms. Malone's sneaky side hustles, like her alley meetups and car chats. She doesn't deny it, claiming they were on a break. Classic, right? Mr. Mason isn't buying it, though. Keep watching. The tea is about to overflow.
I found out that she was doing a lot of sneaking around when I was in the house.
What kind of sneaking?
Going through the alleys, meeting people in people's cars.
You were walking in alleys, Ms. Malone?
Yes, I was sneaking around, in fact, but seeing other guys. But there was a break because he wasn't showing me any attention.
Oh boy, you won't believe this twist. Dive into the nitty-gritty as the court unpacks Mr. Mason's surveillance tactics with a pal playing watchdog, keeping eyes on Ms. Malone's every move. This sneaky business adds all sorts of spice to the story, making you wonder who's really playing whom. And guess what? It's about to get even stickier.
I had a friend watching my front door who lived across from where we lived at every time I went to work. He blamed it on because me and her wasn't having any intimacy or anything like that.
Do you remember that confrontation, Ms. Malone? And then what did you respond?
I told him that it was my father that came to the door. Actually asked my father, and my father said I came over there that day.
Hold on to your popcorn. Ms. Malone drops a bombshell that she clued in both Mr. Mason and the potential other daddy about the baby drama right after learning about her bun in the oven. This revelation stirs up a storm of awkward and angry vibes from Mr. Mason. Don't touch that dial. Paternity results are incoming.
When you found out you were pregnant, did you tell the other guy it could possibly be his child as well?
Yes, Your Honor, I did.
When you told Mr. Mason you were pregnant, did you also say to him, and you know because I could possibly be the other guy's child as well?
Yes, Your Honor.
So she did tell you that, Mr. Mason?
Yes, Your Honor.
Why'd you hesitate?
I had to find out about the other guy from waking up out of my sleep.
Brace yourself for this doozy.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Mason, you are not her father.
Buckle up, folks! Mr. Fegan steps up to the plate, dead set on proving Ms. Pinkston is his long-lost daughter, armed with a DNA test to back it up. Meanwhile, Ms. Pinkston is having none of it, totally convinced her dad is the man who tucked her in at night. This explosive start promises some serious drama ahead. Stick around, the fireworks are just getting started.
Mr. Fegan, you're here to prove that Ms. Pinks is your biological daughter. Yeah. You claim you kept this secret for 40 years. Now say DNA prove your case. Ms. Pinkston, you stand before me without any doubt. Mr. Fegan is not your biological father and the man who raised you.
Hold the phone. This just got real. In a jaw-dropping twist, Ms. Pinkston spills the beans that she first met Mr. Fegan at a casual hangout, all thanks to her mom's setup. Talk about a plot twist. She always thought Mr. Gus Pinkston was her one and only dad, making this reveal a mega bombshell. Keep watching. The roller coasters just hit the first drop.
I met Mr. Fegan here when I was 16 years old. I never knew of him. Then all of a sudden one day, my mom decided to take me with her to a friend's house. They get to talking to me, Mr. Fegan, and my mom, right away, this is your father.
Who did you think your father was? Did you know your father?
This is my father, Mr. Gus Pinks. This is who I've known my entire life.
So he was married to your mom?
My entire life.
You won't believe this bit. Imagine being told the guy you might be dating is actually your cousin, thanks to a paternity puzzle you knew nothing about. Ms. Pinkston's world got flipped upside down when her mom dropped that Penny could be her dad. What a cluster. And just when you think it can't get more twisted, there's more chaos to come.
The only reason why this all came out, for the cat to get out the bag, is when I was 16, they told me that Kenny was my father. My mom thought I was dating one of his family members. But needless to say, it was not me, it's my sister that was dating his family member.
And so they felt like they needed to tell you because you were dating your cousin.
Yes, when they told me about it, that was like the worst day of my life.
Guess who was secretly dropping by family BBQs as just a family friend? Yep, Mr. Fegan, keeping his supposed daddy status on the down low. Sneaking around like a character in a spy movie, this man's middle name might as well be secret. Don't go anywhere. The tea is about to spill.
Mr. Fegan used to come to your house when your dad was alive?
Yeah.
I did.
And what were you posing as? A family friend?
Family friend, that's what it was. The secret was still on.
And so you just come by the house, but you were really coming by to see Miss Pinkston?
Hopefully that she was there so I could see her. But over the years, just having something in your heart like that, you could not tell.
Grab your popcorn, this part's a doozy. Enter Ms. Melissa Pinkston, totally torn up about airing dirty laundry in public. She's all about keeping skeletons firmly in the closet, but alas, the secret's out and wreaking havoc. What's next? More family secrets or a sudden plot twist? Tune in to find out.
You are the defendant's sister.
Yes, ma'am.
What you know about this huge paternity secret.
I don't even want to talk about it. I mean, it's been this long. I love you, Tanya, but this is something I really didn't want part. My mom was a good one. My dad was awesome. If it was a secret, it should have. You can hold it for 43 years. Should have just left it alone.
And now for the grand finale. Drum roll, please.
Fagan.
Yes.
You are not her father.
Oh my God.
Oh, Lord, no.
Kicking things off, courtroom buzz starts with Judge Lake calling the case of Harris versus Sterling to order. Jerome, the trusty bailiff, gets a shout out, and everyone's ready to roll. This sets the stage for a showdown about a little kiddo's daddy drama. Just setting the table here, folk. The main course is coming up.
Miss Harris, you claim that your 15-year on and off relationship with Sterling has produced a baby that he is trying to get out of helping raise. You are here to prove paternity and him to step up.
Mr. Sterling claps back. Mr. Sterling isn't buying what Ms. Harris is selling. He's tired of playing dad to a kid he thinks might not be his. He wants DNA proof to clear his name or he's out. Oh, and he really wants Ms. Harris out of his hair for good. Yikes. Grab your popcorn. This is just heating up.
Mr. Sterling, you say the plaintiff told you her son Hasten was not yours and you are tired of taking care of another man's baby. You've come to get the DNA proof you need to remove her name from the birth certificate. Finally, get Ms. Harris out of your life.
Ms. Harris isn't having any of it. Talking about solo parenting their soon-to-be one-year-old son, Kason, who shares a birthday with her. Talk about a party, right? She's juggling birthdays and baby tantrums all by her lonesome. Next up, things get even spicier, so keep your eyes peeled.
Mr. Sterling needs to step up and take care of his baby that he knows is his. I'm not going to do this by myself. So I'm here because I want to prove paternity to him that this is his child. Our birthday is tomorrow, so he'll be 1. I had him on my birthday last year.
That's not my baby, and I'm going off of what Charity is telling me.
What did she tell you?
It is his baby, and he knows it's his baby.
That tells me when we get to arguing, this is not your baby.
Because he get on my nerves, and I don't want him to be in my life.
The gloves are off as Ms. Harris accuses Mr. Sterling of cheating while she was pregnant. He's in the hot seat now, denying everything but the kitchen sink. This courtroom's turning into a soap opera, and we're here for it.
And he was cheating the whole time I was pregnant.
That's a negative.
Because even if he was cheating, that's bad enough. Don't want that, and we do not condone that in this courtroom. Question concerning paternity would surround whether or not you were sleeping with somebody else at the time.
Mr. Sterling whips out a calendar to try and debunk the pregnancy timeline, doing some serious date math in front of the judge. Will his timeline tango confuse the court or clear his name? The judge's eyebrows are already doing a dance, and you won't want to miss what drops next.
And you submitted calendar to the court. I'd like to go through that calendar so I can better understand. First date on this calendar says the doctor's appointment was on March 21st, and the doctor says that Ms. Harris to 8 weeks pregnant. You had sex on Valentine's Day. If we count back 6 to 8 weeks, 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks.
Just when you think it can't get more tangled, Mr. Sterling drops a bomb about another potential daddy in the mix. Ms. Harris isn't having any of it, throwing shade and denials faster than confetti at a surprise party. Things are about to get even messier, so stick around.
When she was 8 months pregnant, she told me that it was another guy who could be the baby's father. It broke my heart.
First of all, that's a lie.
What happened?
We had an argument, brung that up. I don't know if she was mad or what. She said, don't worry, you not my baby's father anyway, so you need to like go on, kick rocks, get on with your life or whatever. I'm like, what? We were just together. I was just the baby's father and everything.
The feud fires up. The air's thick with accusations as both sides dig in. Mr. Sterling is all about denying daddy duties, and Ms. Harris is calling him out on every front. This isn't just tea being spilled. It's the whole teapot. And trust me, the next bit is the cherry on top of this drama sundae.
That's the reason we here today.
Exactly, because you're a liar and you need that pretty much.
I don't want to carry another man's child.
You want to take care of yourself.
You know that. That's the reason you want me to be
First of all, you don't take care of yourself with the child that you already got. So wait. Don't sit here and kick like that, baby.
Ain't got nothing to do with this.
I'm saying you know. Don't sit here and kick it like doing that.
So hold on.
Judge Lake is about to lay down the law and reveal the DNA results. This could go any which way, folks. Will Mr. Sterling be planning a Father's Day celebration, or is he off the hook? Let's find out, because this reveal is going to be epic.
First of all, he was there with all my doctor visits.
Yes.
He was there when I delivered my baby, along with flirting and cheating on me my whole pregnancy. He was at the hospital flirting with nurses. I'm about to get the fighting. He signed the birth
Please don't let her finish that,
and cut the umbilical cord. One thing about it, if you thought that this was not your baby, then gun to your head, why you signed the birth certificate? Why did you cut the umbilical cord?
Boom, the results have arrived.
It has been determined by this court. Sterling, you are the father.
Exactly.
Guess what's cooking? Miss Serfozo calls her daughter Sinite her miracle baby because, surprise, she was told she'd never have kids. She's pointing the finger at Mr. Miller as one of the potential daddy candidates. This is just the appetizer in what's shaping up to be a messy paternity stew. His side totally denies being the baby daddy, claiming they've got the receipts to prove it. Oh, the drama. This is grab your popcorn.
Ma'am, at that time, I do have a past just like every...
From that place before August.
Here's awkward. This guy's throwing punches in the air of responsibility. What's coming up will definitely make you go,
Your contention is we're not trying to duck or any responsibility.
And now, the moment we've all been waiting for. Drum roll, please.
Mr. Miller.
Buckle up, folks. The episode kicks off with Judge Lake calling the case of Kane versus Wright. The courtroom buzzes with anticipation as everyone settles in, setting the stage for a roller coaster ride over the paternity of little 1-year-old Ariana. You're not going to believe the twists and turns coming up.
Ms. Kane, now you say you've had an on-again, off-again relationship with Mr. Wright for the past 3 years. In addition to questions regarding your daughter's paternity, you say your relationship has suffered from instability and constant mistrust.
You've got to see this to believe it. Mr. Wright lays down the law about his doubts over Ariana's paternity, thanks to Ms. Kane's shaky truth-telling history. He's dead set on bailing if the DNA test shows he's not the daddy. Strap in, because the drama is just heating up.
Mr. Wright, you say that Ms. Kane has repeatedly lied to you, and you have every reason to doubt the paternity of 1-year-old Ariana. Now, you confess that if the results of today's paternity prove you are not the biological father, you plan to walk out of this courtroom and have nothing to do with Ms. Kane again.
Can you even handle what's next? The judge dives into the deep end of why these two can't trust each other. Flashback time. Ms. Kane's been cozying up to her ex, which throws a whopping wrench into their story. You'll need popcorn for what's coming next.
Why is there so much mistrust? What's going on in this relationship?
When we first started talking to each other, I was always hanging out with my ex.
Still sleeping with your ex at the time?
No.
So you weren't sleeping with your ex, it was really your ex?
So that's not what he says.
So Mr. Wright, you tell me.
Yeah, he called me to have me tow her car.
The ex did.
Told me it was his girl.
Hold on to your seats. The heat turns up when Ms. Kane spills the beans about flirty texts sent to another dude right after they met. Looks like she's keeping her options wide open, despite the ongoing baby daddy drama.
But when you get to her house, your boy's girl was flirting.
No, she didn't flirt till I left. 5 minutes later, she sends me a text message.
Oh, you did?
Yes, I did. I said that I thought he was cute if we could move on to maybe something more.
Wait, the tow truck man left, and then you just sent a text like, I think you can more than you towing my car?
This next part is a doozy. Mr. Wright recounts a tale of deception, where Ms. Kane was supposed to be girls' night out, but was actually spotted with her ex. The plot thickens, folks, and believe me, there's more where that came from.
She lied to me, told me her friend, they were gonna have a girls' night out. Well, my boy was a door guy at the bar. Come to find out, her ex's friend, and her girl were all on double dates together.
We were on a double date. My friend, what was going on was one of my friends, she asked me to go with her to meet this guy. My ex was there too with his boy.
They picked you up at your house.
Things just got real. In a fiery exchange, Ms. Kane hints to Mr. Wright that he might not be the father, which she claims was said in the heat of the moment. Buckle up, because the truth train is about to leave the station.
She told me twice that it might not be mine. She's pregnant. And then again,
while you were pregnant, that this baby is not his.
A couple months ago, she told me. We got into an argument, and I was like, I'm going down and file for custody. I'm gonna file for paternity test. She was like, you might want to go file because she probably ain't yours anyway.
Oh, that's when she said it.
Yeah, because he always wants to think he can just control everything I do. He wants me trapped in a house all the time.
You're not ready for this twist. Mr. Wright plays detective to debunk Ms. Kane's fishy gas leak story, even calling the gas company to check her alibi. Spoiler alert, no gas leak. The surprises just keep on coming.
You get pregnant. You tell him?
Yes.
And when she tells you, are you happy? Do you believe it's yours?
I was happy, but I still had that. She went over to her baby daddy's house. She has 2 other kids. Went over to his house. Was over there for 3 hours. She knew
was
that
like an
dinner
hour
was
and a
almost
half.
done. Ignore my phone calls, my text messages, or she finally calls me. I'm on my way now. Where were you? Well, I got blocked in the driveway because there was a gas leak. So what do? I call the gas company.
Are you still with me? The judge can't wrap her head around why these two stick together through all the chaos and accusations. It's like watching a soap opera, but with legal documents. And guess what? It gets even juicier.
Why are you two even together?
Because I do
He
love
don't
her.
answer my calls. She don't answer my. She not taking the phone into the bathroom. I mean, constant complaint. Neither one of you trust the other one as far as you can throw them. You really don't. So Ariana is now here in this mess. You the mother. He doesn't know if he's the father.
This is the big moment, people. Drum roll, please.
It has been determined, Mr. Wright, you are Ariana's father.
Seriously? This is how we're kicking things off? Ms. Jones strides into court to figure out who the real daddy of her 2-year-old munchkin Jordan is. Mr. Morones is fingers crossed hoping it's him, but he's not putting all his eggs in one basket because, let's face it, doubts are flying everywhere. Buckle up, because this ride's just getting started. Enter this parental rights. If the test says you're the daddy, things are about to get as twisted as a pretzel, folks.
Requesting to sign over parental rights, he is Jordan's biological father.
Oh snap. Ms. Jones spills the beans. She sent Mr. Morones a pic of her pop reunions were awkward.
And I was trying to get my family back. The 2 boys that I took care of.
That's not how it went. She wanted to get her family back.
A friend, somebody I know, she went out to the bar and...
Mr. Morones is all kinds of mixed up now. He thought he was the only contender in the daddy derby. Isn't over.
I was the only possible father.
And so how are you feeling at this point? Completely confused?
I was destroyed. I mean, screwing with my head.
When baby Jordan was born, what happened?
Baby daddy status. Mr. Morones is sweating bullets now, folks. The next part, it's like a scene from a reality show, only realer.
When he was a young man. You think they look exactly alike?
I think they look a lot alike.
Doesn't make him a dad. This just turned into a bad date episode, but with higher stakes. What's coming up will have you reaching for more popcorn. Drum roll, please.
It is determined that Mr. Morones, you
Kayla just told me that you had sex with her. And the only reason why I denied it to him was because his grandfather was sick. He sits here and says he had no idea.
Why did you say this after my grandfather was sick? You didn't sleep together until my father died.
But
I went over there to see her. I got 0 spiritual energy. I looked at her, don't look like me. She don't look like my sister.
All children don't have to look like father. They can look like me. They can look like the grandma. You don't know. It could be a visual of both of us. It's not all.
The question of paternity is not being brought up anymore. We ended up deciding to spice up our sex life. Female threesome with him. So he got to pick another woman. It was maybe a couple weeks later it got brought up. It'd only be if we had a male, and you. So I said, okay.
Buckle up, Buttercup. Judge Lake kicks off the show with the case of Brooks versus Page. Ms. Brooks claims she was all set to start a family with Mr. Page, but now he's backing out, saying, nope, not my circus, not my monkey. Mr. Page points fingers at another guy, Tony Wilson, claiming he's the dad because of some iffy Facebook posts. You've got to see what's next. It's a real soap opera.
Ms. Brooks, you state, after getting out of a 9-year relationship, you fell in love with Mr. Page, a younger man who you say swept you off your feet. You claim both you and Mr. Page plan to have a child together, but since giving birth to your son, Ivion, Mr. Page is now denying the child you so desperately wanted to have with him.
Just when you thought it was a regular Tuesday, Mr. Page is adamant that Tony Wilson is the daddy, thanks to some shady social media shenanigans. Ms. Brooks is like, nah, he's just a buddy, despite some cozy pics online. Stick around, it's about to get juicier than a reality TV show finale.
Mr. Page, you state you know the child isn't yours because Ms. was having an ongoing affair with another man by the name of Tony Wilson. You say Mr. Wilson, who is also claims to be the father of her son and has even posted pictures on social media to that effect.
Grab your popcorn. The couple spills the tea on their rocky romance. Ms. Brooks talks about constant bickering, how Mr. Page doubts he's the father, all because she hangs out with Wilson. Ooh, the drama. You won't believe what they say next. It's a real head spinner.
Right now, our relationship is on the rocks. We really no relationship. All we do is fuss and fight. He's denying.
Because every time I come from work, she out with Mr. Wilson. So I don't know what she's doing at work. When I'm at work, she calls me, and I'm at work, I call her. Don't pick up, don't nothing. I call everybody that she hangs around with, they won't. So to me, I think she tells them not to pick up the phone.
Things are heating up now. They dive deeper into why Mr. Page is freaking out over being a dad, bringing up Ms. Brooks's past relationship with a woman and some sneaky texts. Buckle up, because we're about to dive into some evidence that'll make your head spin. Can you handle what's coming? Judge Lake gets down to business with Mr. Page's so-called proof, which is basically just a bunch of photos that scream, it's complicated. Both sides have a lot to say about these snapshots. Keep your eyes peeled, because Mr. Wilson's about to crash the party.
It stimulates from the paternity issues because first, when we first got together, it was lovely. When I first was pregnant, he did everything good, like during the pregnancy, and then everything changed.
What changed is her not being home when I come home at night, her and my son being around Mr. Wilson, her friend. That's what it comes from.
That I was in a 9-year relationship with was a female.
Oh boy, here comes the witness. Mr. Wilson steps up to explain he's just the godfather, not the bio dad. Mr. Page isn't buying it though, highlighting all he does for the kiddo. Fasten your seatbelts. This clash is about to reach new heights.
Well, I'll be honest, that's my godson. You know, I treat him like my son. I love him. On my lunch breaks, stop past Sam, I spend time with him, take him to the park.
That's a lie.
How would that be a lie? You never there. You too busy playing the game, chilling with your homeboys and friends.
Why do you say he's lying?
I'm from Glen Burnie, Your Honor. We live in Baltimore. I don't have no homeboys and friends.
Did he just say that? Turns out, Mr. Wilson's been playing pretend daddy to everyone who'll listen. This revelation stirs up a storm of betrayal and confusion. You won't want to miss what's coming. coming. The DNA bombshell is up next.
It was this girl I was dealing with to make her mad and make her jealous because she had an issue with Miss Brooks because her hair was long, fingernails, she has on press-ons. I was just making her be jealous. But due to social media is something else. Let me tell you. She put all my business up. I think Santa Claus even know about the situation. But the only person I spoke with was the female that I was dealing with, which was my ex.
This is it, the big reveal.
It has been determined by this court. Wilson, you are not the father.
Told you.
Just when you think your love life is complicated, Nadeau drops the bomb that she's tangled up with not one, but two lifelong best friends. She's completely clueless about who fathered her 2-year-old son, Cameron, causing all kinds of drama and confusion. Stick around because the tea is just starting to spill.
Ms. Nadeau, you are caught in the middle of 2 lifelong best friends because you slept with them both and now have no idea which is 2-year-old Cameron's biological father.
Grab your popcorn, folks. Mr. Santilli spills his guts about the heart-shattering. He found out about Miss Nadeau's Christmas Eve betrayal. The revelation shattered his world and put his friendship on the line. And guess what? It's only going to get messier from here.
Now, Mr. Santilli, you admit it's taken you years to mend your broken heart since Miss Nadeau revealed to you Christmas Eve she'd slept with your best friend. Furthermore, you say she then dropped the bomb that may instead be your son's biological father. That news, you say, has devastated you beyond.
As if things weren't spicy enough, we dive into the backstory of Miss Nadeau's dramatic breakup with Mr. Santilli, filled with emotional mind games and the tragic passing of a close relative. She sets the stage for a rebound with Mr. Zara. Trust me, you'll want to see what happens next.
His grandfather was sick and passing away. He decided in a text message he was going to tell me that I was too good for him. As much as I tried to stop him, he left anyway. So I continued to go and see his grandfather while he's in the nursing home getting sicker, starting to pass away. The day he passed away was the day his best friend told me that really he had broken up with me. Girl upstairs.
Can you believe this? Right after the funeral of Mr. Santilli's grandfather, Miss Nadeau and Mr. Zara find comfort in each other's arms. Yep, that happened. Buckle up, because this roller coaster is about to go off the rails.
The first time me and Mrs. Zara slept together was the day he passed away, the day grandfather passed away.
You don't really know who the father is. I always thought there was a code that, if you have a best friend, they don't sleep with your girl or any you dated. Look, unless it's been years or you get prior approval.
Enter Mr. Zara. He comes into the courtroom and throws another curveball by saying Mr. Santilli practically gave him the green light to go after Miss Nadeau. The plot thickens, and oh boy, you're not ready for what's next.
At first, I did not believe the child was mine. No, I denied it to the fullest, yes.
Hey.
At his house, he said, yo, bro, Kayla just told me that you had sex with her. And the only reason why I denied it to him was because his grandfather was sick. He sits here and says he had no idea.
How did you say this after my grandfather was sick? You didn't sleep together until my father died.
But,
And just when you thought it was safe to go back in the water, real drama starts. Both men are head over heels, thinking they might be Cameron's dad. They're both hooked, emotionally vested. And boy, the upcoming twist is a doozy.
So at what point did you come to believe this is mine?
After a few weeks of both of them promising months of them promising that the kid
I was about
mine.
5 or 6 months pregnant, and he texted me and said that he wanted something to do with the baby, and that he wanted to try to be together for him.
During the birth of the child, which one was with you?
I was there. Here's a picture of me in the hospital the day he was born.
Hold on to your socks because they're about to get knocked off. After Mr. Santilli lands in jail, the relationship dynamics take a wild turn with Miss Nadeau and Mr. Zara. It's a full-on soap opera, and the next scene is a cliffhanger.
So the next morning after you went to jail from this incident,
he took up his role as the child's father.
This is the first picture of Tom and Cameron together. I came out and said that, the baby's Tom's. That's what I believe now. He showed up. It was the day after Christmas Day, and he said, if he's my son, I want to do what I have to do to take care of him.
The moment of truth is here. Drum roll, please.
It has been determined by this court that Cameron's biological father is Mr. Santilli.
You won't believe this one. Ms. Rose kicks things off by demanding a DNA test for Mr. Jefferson and his buddy Mr. Power because, surprise, both could be daddy to her 3-year-old mini-me. Sire, fasten your seatbelts because we're just revving up.
Ms. Rose, you asking the court for DNA tests on 2 men. Your on-again, off-again boyfriend, Mr. Jefferson, his good friend, Mr. Power, who is waiting inside the courtroom. Both men, you say, possibly be father of your 3-year-old son, Sire.
Just when you think it's all about baby drama, Ms. Rose throws in a zinger. She's accusing Mr. Mr. Jefferson of trashing her rep all over town, from church to the supermarket. You've got to stick around because the gossip gets juicier.
Now, Ms. Rose, you're also suing Mr. Jefferson $5,000 for defamation of character. You claim he's ruined your reputation at church, your job, and with your entire circle of friends. Now, Mr. Jefferson, you say you not only question the paternity of a 3-year-old son, but you are also asking for the results of a DNA test on your 2-year-old son, Zayden, as well.
Hold on to your popcorn. Mr. Jefferson isn't just doubting daddy duties for sire. He's also side-eyeing Zayden's paternity. He's convinced Ms. Rose has been playing musical chairs with their love life. Oh boy, wait till you hear what's next.
You claim Ms. Rose is a known cheater who has slept with your good friend and many others. Therefore, you doubt everything she says.
He definitely has this issue and constantly telling me that I'm so beautiful and he's not, and he's jealous of me and thinks that he's gonna lose me, and I'm constantly cheating on him, and it's just insanity.
And the truth comes out. Ms. Rose spills the beans about her tangled love web, admitting she juggled both Mr. Jefferson and Mr. Power simultaneously for a hot minute before the pregnancy news hit. The plot thickens, so don't go anywhere.
I met Michael first, was sleeping with him. We were kind of together, but not very serious. He fell in love with someone, moved on, and then I ended up with Kenneth. There was a point where I was sleeping with both of them at the same time. Then later, that probably went on for a good month. Then I ended up getting more serious with him. Actually, I stopped seeing Michael, committed to Kenneth, and then I ended up pregnant about 2.5 weeks later.
Enter Mr. Power. Stage right. He strides into the courtroom to share his 2 cents, confirming his fling with Ms. Rose and fretting over potentially being Sire's dad. The tension's rising, and the next twist is a doozy.
You believe that you potentially could be Sire's father.
I met Alicia at a bar. Within 2 hours, we were back at her house having unprotected sex. We hooked up multiple times. You don't know, brother. She's just a bad person. I just
that you keep sleeping with.
Brace for impact. Judge Lake tackles the defamation claim, schooling everyone on what counts as slander and what's just chit-chat. The gavel comes down, don't wander off. The DNA results are up, and they're mind-blowing.
If you have slept around with men and you live a lifestyle where you choose to sleep, can't then claim defamation of character if somebody then talks about you. Say your whole life has been ruined, but I haven't heard anything where you've lost a job or lost something.
Here comes the big reveal. Drum roll, please.
Mr. Jefferson, you are the father.
Buckle up, folks. We kick things off with the juicy court case of Garrett versus Boyer. Ms. Garrett is here, all guns blazing, to prove that Mr. Boyer is indeed biological dad of her adorable 2-year-old Naomi. She's not just here for the drama, she's on a mission. Stick around because this roller coaster is just leaving the station.
Ms. Garrett, you are here on a mission today to that the defendant, Mr. Boyer, the biological father of your 2-year-old daughter, Naomi. You say that after a month of non-stop, unprotected sex with the defendant, you are 100% sure they fathered your child.
Oh boy, didn't see that coming. Mr. Boyer throws a curveball by totally denying he's Naomi's father, saying he only got wind of her a couple of months ago. His cool denial adds some serious spice to the mix. Just wait till you hear what's up next.
Mr. Boyer, you say there's no way you could be the biological father of Ms. Garrett's baby. Her child is 2 years old and you learned of Naomi 2 months ago.
Cue the awkwardness. Things get a tad uncomfortable as Garrett and Mr. Boyer hash out their past fling, which was, let's just say, less than fairy tale-like. They admit it was all about the bada bing, beta boom. The plot thickens, and trust me, you'll want to stick around for the sizzle that's coming up.
It takes 2 to tango, both wrong, we both did what we did, and the result to what the fact that we did, we created a beautiful baby girl, and I just need to clarify to him that she is his, because if the fact that when the test results come that she is his, he will take care of my daughter, he will be responsible, because if not, I have no problem with taking him to court at all.
Here comes the TMI train, choo-choo. Ms. Garrett openly admits to their month-long bedroom rodeo, which Mr. Boyer isn't fully buying. This juicy bit lays bare the root of their paternity pickle. Hang tight, because there's more eyebrow-raising stuff on the way.
And we had 31 days of sex, unprotected.
Straight of unprotected sex? I'm not gonna say that deserves a round of applause, even though you got one. You all were working real hard making a child, because you weren't using protection.
No, we was not.
Talk about dodging the question. Mr. Boyer sorta admits there was some action, but not the marathon Ms. Garrett is talking about. This half admission throws a little gas on the fire, making the need for a DNA test super obvious. Keep watching. The next bit is a doozy.
You admit you were in this sexual relation, or did you believe she was having sex with other people?
No, I was never under the impression that it was only me. It was 2 too easy for it to be only me. I never wanted to put her under the wing like fried rice though. She was just part of the plate like temporarily, not to take home and put in the microwave.
Under the wing like fried rice?
I never wanted to put her under the wing like fried rice, no.
Man plot twistle. The soap opera spirals as Ms. Garrett reveals she initially thought another dude was the dad due to their timing. This revelation throws another potential daddy into the chaos. The next revelation is just as juicy, so don't go anywhere.
After our sexual relationship was over, I wound up dating another guy. Me and him was consistent.
Oh.
Automatically the other gentleman's baby. So
you started dating somebody new, thought it was his child. So you told him, I'm pregnant.
Yes.
Was he happy about it?
Yes, he was.
So you told him you were pregnant and you never to notify Mr. Boyer?
No.
And here comes the skepticism train, full steam ahead. Mr. Boyer meets little Naomi and feels zilch, nada, no daddy vibes at all. This crucial moment really cranks up his doubt to level 100. But stick around, the next part is even more jaw-dropping.
She asked me to try to be around, you know, try to get to know Naomi a little bit. I went over there to see her. I got zero spiritual energy. I looked at her, don't look like me. She don't look like my sister. I don't know, maybe the eyes, but that's about it. I don't see any resemblance there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
All children don't have to look like father. They can look like me. They can look like the grandma. You don't know what to look like. It could be a visual of both of us. It's not all.
You might want to sit down for this. The judge lays down the law with DNA proof that the other guy is not the father. Now it's really crunch time for Mr. Boyer, and the air is thick with anticipation. The big reveal is up next, and it's a humdinger.
And so the DNA test revealed the man that you were sure was Naomi's biological father was
100%.
in fact not her biological father.
I have it with me, Your Honor.
I'd like to see it. So this is a copy of the paternity results, and there's a 0% probability of paternity regarding the other potential.
Yes, Your Honor.
Here it is, the big kahuna, grand finale.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Boyer, you are not the father.
Brace yourself, folks. Everyone's told to park it because the show is starting. Hellos are thrown around the courtroom, and the title bout, Stremke versus Jaramillo, is on the marquee. It's about Ms. Stremke dragging Mr. Jaramillo into court, because oh boy, the family drama is peaking due to some major daddy doubts that are tossed out there. And just when you thought your family reunions were rough, check out what's next.
Ms. Stremke, you've dragged Mr. Jaramillo to court in hopes of saving your family, which you claim is falling apart due to paternity denial. You say the defendant paternity for both of your daughters, 4-year-old Naviana and 8-month-old Elect, but you want to prove that he is their father.
Hold the phone. Did he just say that? Mr. Jaramillo drops a bombshell about his doubts on being the daddy, claiming he was an eyewitness to some suspicious shenanigans, make him question the whole fatherhood gig. He's pretty adamant that without DNA proof, this family picture might as well be a sketch. Fasten your seatbelts. It gets bumpier from here.
Mr. Jaramillo, you claim doubt is valid because you were present when another man impregnated Ms. Stremke. Family you thought you were building is not salvageable until you have DNA proof.
Grab some tissues. This one's a tearjerker. Mrs. Stremke spills the beans on how the paternity mess is messing with their kiddos, especially 4-year-old Naviana, who's starting to side-eye her dad, wondering if he's really the guy. She lays it all out, painting a picture of a home where doubt is part of the decor. You'll want to stick around for the next bit. It's a doozy.
Your Honor, I feel like my family is falling apart because my daughters are growing up how I had to. We didn't have both parents present at different times. We were denied. I feel like they can't trust their dad because he denies that he's their dad at the time. And my 4-year-old Naviana knows. She can hear the, well, I'm not her dad anyway. And it just gives her doubt. And when she looks at her dad, there's not going to be respect there.
Talk about a plot twist. They met as teens in a lockup, which sounds like the start of a bad rom-com, right? Ms. Stremke digs into their rocky start and how it's haunting their present. It's a saga of bad timing and tough breaks, all wrapped up in a not-so-fairy tale romance. Don't go anywhere. The story takes a wild turn next.
We met very young. I was 13. We met in a lockup facility we were both staying at. We had no choice. We didn't have childhoods at all, so we had to stay there. I see it now, and I don't go down that road to where they have to go through what we did.
2 children and your family on the line, I understand that.
Okay, who had this on their bingo card? The talk turns to the sticky topic of paternity tests. Ms. Stremke admits to past liaisons, throwing Mr. Jaramillo's fatherhood into question. He explains why he signed the birth certificate. It was a total hallmark moment. But hold on to your popcorn. This drama isn't cooling down yet.
I was upfront. We told you that there was one other person before we had gotten together.
You said one other, and then came another fellow that your best friend told me about.
I had never slept with anybody but one person besides you, and that was before we had gotten together.
Did you ever attempt to have a paternity test back then?
No, Your Honor, because every time I brought it up, it was always, oh, I know she's mine. I know she's mine. I mean, I have right here.
Can't make this stuff up. They decided to add some zest to their love life with a threesome, which just complicates things further regarding little Alexis's daddy drama. They unpack this choice and its aftermath, showing just how tangled things can get when you throw extra people into the mix. What happened happens next? You guessed it, more chaos.
It ended up an actual conversation where I was, okay, well, it wouldn't be the worst thing because we're getting along really well. The question of paternity is not being brought up anymore. We ended up deciding to like spice up our sex life and everything, and we ended up having female threesome with him. So he got to pick another woman. It was what it was. We did it. It was maybe a couple weeks later it got brought up. It'd only be if we had a male, and you. So I said, okay.
Phew, finally some answers. Judge Lake rolls out the DNA results, and guess what?
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Jaramillo, you are the father.
So here we go. Curtain rises on quite the courtroom drama. The case of Kennedy versus Pope kicks off with the judge laying down the welcome mat. He greets everyone in his usual style, and we're all set to dive into a paternity mystery involving Mr. Kennedy, Ms. Pope, and a little one named Christian. Grab your popcorn, because this is just the warm-up act.
Mr. Kennedy, you claim to be a nice guy who was to make the tough decision to drag the defendant to court. Prove you did not father her 3-month-old son, Christian.
Oh boy, here it gets spicy. Ms. Pope and her mom are throwing some serious shade, insulted that Mr. Kennedy is denying he's the baby daddy. Ms. Pope is all fired up, demanding that he take responsibility after their fling. And guess what? The tea is about to get even hotter.
Ms. Pope, you and mother are insulted that Mr. Kennedy denied paternity and refused to acknowledge your child. You say he laid down with you and now he has stepped up and paid.
Hold on to your seats, folks. Mr. Kennedy spills the beans on why he thinks Ms. Pope is pinning the baby on him. He paints a picture of their casual fling turning into this court drama, insisting it was all chill and no strings attached. Oh, but keep your eyes peeled. The plot thickens in a minute.
I believe she's just looking for someone to pin it on or pick up the slack for her previous, encounter.
And so, take me back to the nature of your relationship.
It started off as just friends. We met through a mutual friend. It got physical once got to know each other.
So did you all enter into a committed relationship? Were you boyfriend and girlfriend?
I would say briefly.
And the saga continues. Ms. Pope reminisces about the good old days when Mr. Kennedy was the all-American charmer, which, spoiler alert, didn't last long. She dishes on how things went south after they got cozy, setting the stage for their current courtroom clash. Don't touch that dial, because it's about to get even juicier.
We did get along in the beginning, but he was a jerk, and I no longer wanted to be around that.
Why were you sleeping with him if he was a jerk?
He came off as an all-American guy in the beginning. We had a lot of things in common. We had the same birthday, the same football team.
The bottom line is you all got along in the beginning, and you started a sexual relationship with him.
Yes, Your Honor.
Things are heating up. We shift gears to when Ms. Pope figured out she was expecting, and Mr. Kennedy's jaw-dropping reaction, or lack thereof. She details how she broke the news and his lukewarm response, ramping up the tension. Stick around, because you won't want to miss what's coming up next.
My version is we were in the beginning, but then it became friends with benefits, kind of a ordeal. Yes,
But you were having a sexual relationship,
yes, Your
and you were not using protection?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Ms. Pope, at some point you say the tables start to turn.
Yes, Your Honor.
Because he accuses you of having feelings for your ex?
That's not even remotely true. The reason why she didn't have a GED, she didn't have a future plan.
Cue the dramatic music. Mr. Kennedy talks about getting the bombshell via Facebook after the baby arrived, which was his first clue he might be a dad. Yep, you heard that right. Facebook. This modern twist to the paternity puzzle adds a whole layer of what the heck. Stay tuned, because the surprises are far from over.
Through Facebook, I got messages.
She did not tell you she even had the baby until after the baby was born.
Yes,
I had messaged him the night that I went into
some
labor.
message. I've been trying to get a hold of you. I wanted to call you and talk. Reply about. She replies, would you like to guess? And then you reply, no. And then Ms. Pope says, okay, well, I'm not sure how to say this, so I'll just show you. And you send a picture of the baby.
Yes, it looks just like him.
Guess who decided to make a visit? Mr. Kennedy finally goes to see baby Christian for the first time, trying to spot any family resemblances. He's looking for any sign that might link him to the kiddo, all while wrestling with his feelings about the whole mess. And oh boy, get ready for the big reveal soon.
I took a, 6-hour trip out of my day to go up and actually see the child with my own eyes, just to make sure I didn't get anything until after the child was born.
So when you took the time and went up to see Christian, what happened?
Just held him for a while, trying to gather, anything, kids or anything like that, find any similarities between him and I, and that was basically it.
And boom goes the dynamite.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Kennedy, you are the father.